What if I told you that a silent enemy, hiding within your arteries, could be damaging your heart every day, and you hardly notice it? Invisible chronic inflammation and how, after 50, it quietly erodes heart health. By the end, you'll understand the causes, early signs, tests, and science-based strategies to stop this stealth threat and thrive for decades to come. Chapter 1: What is silent inflammation? Inflammation isn't always bad. In fact, acute inflammation is your body's emergency response. It's how you heal a cut or fight off an infection. But chronic low-grade inflammation is a whole different story. It simmers beneath the surface for years, with no pain or visible symptoms. And it's this silent inflammation that slowly wreaks havoc on your blood vessels, your heart muscle, and your entire cardiovascular system, especially after age 50. This phenomenon is often referred to as inflammaging. It's the process by which aging itself is associated with increased inflammatory activity, even in the absence of infection or injury. Here's how it works. Your immune system remains slightly activated all the time. This causes endothelial dysfunction, damage to the inner lining of your blood vessels. White blood cells begin sticking to vessel walls, triggering plaque formation. Arteries stiffen, blood pressure rises, and the risk of heart attack and stroke increases. The culprits? Tiny inflammatory molecules like C-reactive protein, CRP, an overall marker of inflammation. Interleukin-6, Illinois-6, a pro-inflammatory cytokine. Tumor necrosis factor alpha, TNF, fuels inflammation in blood vessels. Homocysteine damages endothelial lining and increases clot risk. You won't feel these molecules rising, but they silently erode your heart's health over time. Shield Chapter 2: Why inflammation becomes a hidden enemy after 50. After 50, the risk of silent inflammation accelerates. Why? 1. Aging immune system, inflammaging. Your immune cells become less efficient at resolving inflammation. Old immune cells stick around longer, releasing cytokines that keep your body in a state of chronic alert. 2. Hormonal decline. Estrogen, which protects blood vessels and regulates immune activity, drops in women after menopause. Testosterone in men also declines, leading to more visceral fat and higher inflammation. 3. Lifestyle debt. By 50, your heart has endured decades of processed foods, stress hormones like cortisol, sleep deprivation, environmental toxins, sedentary behavior. Even small unhealthy habits, when stacked over decades, leave a big inflammatory footprint. 4. The exposome. This term describes the total cumulative burden of environmental exposures across your lifespan, including air pollution, secondhand smoke, poor air quality, toxins in food and water. As we age, our ability to detoxify and recover diminishes, allowing these exposures to stoke inflammation continuously. Warning sign Chapter 3: Signs you might have cardiac inflammation. The challenge? Silent inflammation is often symptomless until it's too late. But there are subtle signals you should not ignore. Chest heaviness or vague discomfort, especially at rest. Person in bed unexplained fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. Swollen ankles or legs, possible vascular inflammation. Brain fog, poor focus, irritability. Skin changes like persistent redness, puffiness, or easy bruising. These may seem minor or be blamed on aging. But for many, they're the early whispers of cardiovascular trouble. Why are signs easy to miss after 50? You might be taking meds that mask symptoms, like beta blockers or painkillers. Limited activity can make it hard to detect exertion-based symptoms. Fatigue, depression, or stiffness are often brushed off as just getting older. But catching inflammation early can stop it from turning into a heart attack, stroke, or sudden cardiac event. Syringe Chapter 4: How to test for silent inflammation. Since symptoms can be vague or absent, testing is your best defense. Ask your doctor about these blood-based inflammation markers. HSCRP, high-sensitivity C-reactive protein, ideal levels are below 1 mg per liter. Illinois 6 and TNF, not always included in routine panels but useful for deeper insight. Homocysteine, high levels can damage arteries and raise clot risk. Fibrinogen, promotes clot formation and tracks inflammation. Other useful labs. Lipid panels, LDL, HDL, triglycerides. ApoB, a better marker than LDL for predicting plaque buildup. Vitamin D levels, low levels contribute to inflammation. Advanced imaging. Coronary artery calcium, CAC, scan, detects silent plaque in coronary arteries. Carotid intima media thickness, CIMT measures blood vessel thickness via ultrasound. Pulse wave velocity or arterial stiffness testing. Who should test? Adults over 50. Anyone with a family history of heart disease. Those with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or metabolic syndrome. Smokers or those with a sedentary lifestyle. Salad Chapter 5, use food as medicine, anti-inflammatory diet for the heart. The food you eat can either inflame or heal your arteries. Top anti-inflammatory foods. Fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines rich in EPA, DHA omega-3s. Berries, loaded with anthocyanins and antioxidants. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, arugula high in polyphenols. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage help with liver detox. Extra virgin olive oil contains oleocanthal, an anti-inflammatory compound. Nuts, especially walnuts and almonds. Legumes and lentils, fiber-rich for blood sugar and inflammation control. Foods to avoid. Refined carbs, white bread, pastries. Sugar-sweetened beverages. Processed meats, bacon, sausages, deli meat. Trans fats and excessive omega-6 oils, corn, soy, canola. Alcohol in excess. Sample meal plan. Breakfast, Greek yogurt with berries and chia seeds. Lunch, lentil salad with arugula, olive oil, avocado. Dinner, baked salmon with quinoa, steamed broccoli, and herbal tea. Chapter 6, movement and heart inflammation reduction. Exercise isn't just about weight control, it directly reduces inflammation. Here's how. Moderate cardio increases anti-inflammatory cytokines like Illinois or 10. Resistance training lowers CRP and improves insulin sensitivity. HIIT, high-intensity interval training, has been shown to rapidly reduce inflammatory markers. Minimum guidelines. 150 minutes week of moderate cardio, brisk walking, cycling. 2 resistance sessions week, bodyweight or weight training. Run a #pro tips. Include daily walking, especially post-meal to lower blood sugar. Use yoga or mobility sessions as recovery to avoid overtraining, which can raise inflammation. Take micro breaks throughout your workday to avoid sedentary stasis, aim for 3 to 5 minute movement breaks every hour. Sleeping Phase Chapter 7, Sleep and Stress, the invisible pair. Poor sleep and chronic stress silently fan the flames of inflammation. Sleep deprivation effects. Raises CRP, Illinois 6, cortisol, and adrenaline. Impairs heart rate variability, a marker of autonomic nervous system balance. Increases blood pressure and insulin resistance overnight. Person in bed sleep tools. 7 to 9 hours of sleep consistently. Sleep at the same time nightly to reinforce circadian rhythm. Use blackout curtains, earplugs, or white noise if needed. Cool your bedroom to 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit, 16 to 19 degrees Celsius. Stress management lowers inflammation through cortisol control. Tools include: for 7-8 breathing or box breathing, 5 to 10 minute daily. Daily journaling or gratitude writing. Adaptogenic herbs, ashwagandha, rhodiola, holy basil. Regular social connection, even digital calls count. Sample evening ritual. Herbal tea, lemon balm, chamomile. Gentle stretching or restorative yoga. Breathing practice in bed. No screen 60 minutes before sleep. Chapter 8, Supplements and Natural Support. While lifestyle is foundational, targeted supplementation can be a powerful ally in reducing silent inflammation, especially after age 50, when nutrient absorption and metabolic function begin to shift. Microscope science-backed anti-inflammatory supplements. Omega-3 EPA DHA. Dose: 2,000 to 4,000 mg day combined EPA plus DHA. These marine-derived fats are among the most effective anti-inflammatory agents known. Omega-3s lower CRP, reduce triglycerides, and directly inhibit inflammatory cytokines, Illinois 6, TNF. Choose third-party tested fish oil or algal oil for purity. Magnesium glycinate. Dose: 200 to 400 mg day. This highly bioavailable form helps regulate blood pressure, lowers CRP, and promotes restful sleep. Many adults over 50 are magnesium deficient due to medications, like PPIs or diuretics, or poor soil quality in produce. Curcumin with black pepper extract. Dose: 500 to 1,000 mg day. Curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, has been shown to reduce markers like CRP, Illinois 1 beta, and NFB. Piperine, black pepper extract, enhances absorption by up to 2,000%. Vitamin D3. Dose: 1,000 to 5,000 IU day, based on lab values. Low vitamin D is strongly associated with higher inflammatory markers and cardiovascular risk. Aim for serum levels between 40 to 60 nanograms per milliliter. Probiotics and prebiotics. A healthy gut microbiome controls systemic inflammation. Probiotics with lactobacillus and bifidobacterium strains support gut barrier integrity and lower endotoxin-related inflammation. Add prebiotic fiber, onions, garlic, leeks, chicory root, to feed good bacteria. Pill when medications are needed. In cases of persistent or high cardiovascular risk, physicians may recommend low-dose aspirin to reduce clotting and inflammation, though it's no longer advised for everyone, so follow your doctor's guidance. Statins not only lower LDL cholesterol but also reduce CRP and vascular inflammation. ACE inhibitors ARBs for hypertension and endothelial protection. Pushpin reminder: always consult a licensed practitioner before starting any supplement or medication, especially if you're on multiple prescriptions or managing chronic conditions. Hammer and wrench Chapter 9, Toxin exposure and environmental triggers. You might be eating clean and sleeping well, but unseen environmental triggers could be fueling your internal fire. After 50, the body's detox systems, especially liver and kidney function, slow down, making us more vulnerable to accumulated exposure. Biohazard symbol common inflammatory triggers. Household and plastic chemicals. BPA, phthalates, found in plastic bottles, food packaging, and linings. These endocrine disruptors fuel chronic inflammation. PFAS, forever chemicals in non-stick pans, waterproof clothing, and firefighting foam that persist in the bloodstream and damage cardiovascular tissue. Pesticides and herbicides. Chronic exposure, especially from non-organic produce, has been linked to elevated CRP and arterial stiffness. Air pollution and particulates. Inhaled pollutants like PM2.5 particles from car exhaust, wildfire smoke, or industrial zones are directly linked to cardiovascular inflammation and higher stroke risk. Cigarette smoke and secondhand smoke. Even occasional exposure amplifies vascular damage. Over 80% of heart disease in smokers is tied to inflammation rather than just cholesterol. Actionable detox strategies. Drink filtered water, reverse osmosis or activated carbon filters to reduce heavy metals, chlorine, fluoride, and microplastics. Store food in glass or stainless steel, ditch plastics. Choose natural household cleaners, vinegar, baking soda, essential oils. Use HEPA air purifiers indoors, especially in cities or wildfire zones. Wear a high-quality mask, N95 or KN95, when walking near traffic or polluted environments. Seedling a cleaner body equals a calmer immune system. Handshake Chapter 10, Social Connection and Emotional Health. Here's something most doctors overlook: the heart thrives on connection. And when we feel chronically lonely or emotionally isolated, our bodies interpret it as a survival threat, triggering inflammatory stress pathways. How loneliness fuels inflammation. Lonely individuals have up to 2x higher levels of Illinois-6 and CRP. Emotional disconnection increases sympathetic nervous system activity, fight or flight, suppresses immune balance, and weakens vascular resilience. Older adults with fewer meaningful social ties face 60 to 70% higher cardiovascular mortality risk. Red Heart Hash Connection as a healing tool. Weekly shared meals. Eating with others, not TV, reduces cortisol and improves vagal tone. Volunteering or group activity. Studies show older adults who volunteer 2+ times per month have lower inflammatory markers and live longer. Community exercise. Walk with a friend, join a class, or start a dance group at the local community center. Group movement amplifies endorphins and suppresses stress hormones. Blossom Human Warmth is anti-inflammatory. Never underestimate the power of shared joy. Chart with Upward Trend Chapter 11, Monitoring Your Progress. Measuring your success is vital, especially when dealing with something as invisible as inflammation. Bar chart key biomarkers to track. HSCRP, high-sensitivity C-reactive protein. Best blood test for systemic inflammation. Aim for 1 mg per liter for low cardiac risk. Illinois-6 and TNF. Less commonly tested, but available via specialty labs. Homocysteine. Elevated levels damage arterial walls and increase stroke heart disease risk. Vitamin D and omega-3 index. Ensure levels are optimized for immune modulation. Thyroid panel and magnesium. Both are crucial for regulating metabolic inflammation. Mobile phone lifestyle monitoring tools. Wearables. Use Fitbit, Oura, Apple Watch to track. HRV, higher is better. Resting heart rate, lower equals fitter. Sleep quality, deep sleep matters most. Daily logging, journal or app. Meals, stress levels, symptoms, fatigue, swelling, mood. Track water intake, movement, bedtime. Pushpin reassess every 6 to 12 months with your doctor. Track progress to stay motivated. Speech Balloon Chapter 12, Real Life Stories, Beating Silent Inflammation. Real change happens in real people. Here are inspiring examples of how Thrive Sphere viewers and clients have turned their health around by tackling silent inflammation. Woman 55-year-old woman, my CRP was 4.2, now it's 0.9. Then, constant fatigue, swollen ankles, borderline hypertension. Actions. Adopted Mediterranean-style diet. Walk daily after dinner. Added magnesium plus fish oil. Result, dropped CRP in 12 weeks, improved sleep, lost 12 pounds. Man 60-year-old man, I improved my coronary calcium score. Then, coronary CT revealed high plaque levels, borderline diabetic. Actions. Strength train twice a week. Switch to anti-inflammatory meals. Cut alcohol, improved sleep hygiene. Result, follow-up scan showed reduced plaque density and CRP down by 60%. Movie camera call to action, invite viewers to comment their stories. Offer a way to submit testimonials. Celebrate community wins. Bullseye Chapter 13, Your 90-Day Heart Reset Plan. This step-by-step plan empowers you to lower silent inflammation, support your heart, and transform your health in just 3 months, without extreme measures. Tear off calendar Phase 1, Weeks 1 to 4 Foundation. White heavy checkmark test CRP, vitamin D, homocysteine. Place settings shift to Mediterranean-inspired meals, 80% plant-based. Pedestrian #hash walk 20 to 30 minutes a day, 3x per week, after meals if possible. Crescent moon begin bedtime ritual, magnesium plus herbal tea plus blackout curtains. Crossmark cut sugar after 6 p.m., reduce processed snacks. Flexed biceps Phase 2, Weeks 5 to 8 activation. Weightlifter #add 2 resistance workouts, bodyweight or light weights. Run a 1 HIIT session week, 20 minutes max. Herb start supplementation, omega-3s, magnesium, curcumin, vitamin D. Establish stress ritual, daily 10-minute mindfulness, 2x week gratitude journaling. Handshake reconnect socially, call an old friend, schedule lunch, join a group. Chart with upward trend phase 3, weeks 9 to 12 optimization. Retest CRP, HRV, and any symptoms. Counterclockwise arrows ramp up exercise intensity, diversify movement, cycling, swimming, yoga. Bed evaluate and optimize sleep, aim for 7.5 to 8 hours night consistently. Salad personalize meals further, track energy, inflammation triggers. Notebook lock-in habits that work, plan next 6 months of maintenance. Glowing star by day 90, you'll likely feel lighter, clearer, more energized, and your heart will thank you.